mile-per-hour winner on the opening point.
Yeah, so if he doesn't do the same tonight, we'll feel short-changed.
Yeah, he'll be letting us down.
But he can also pack a punch, Griekspoor. But I think crucially for Alcaraz, he was fit. I mean, as you said, that match in Rio against Norrie, where physically he hit the wall at 3-love in the second set. But it's all part and parcel. It's totally understandable that the last 6 months or so for Alcaraz, I mean, a huge rise up the rankings, but there's also been a huge rise up the rankings from Griekspoor, how he earns his place now in the world's top 40 due to those challenger victories.
Yeah, he's proven his own medal this year in particular. The 26-year-old from the Netherlands, up to 36 in the world for the second week in a row, a career-high ranking. He managed to do so by triumphing in his very first ATP final in Pune earlier this year. Doesn't have a lot of history previously in Masters 1000 men. In fact, hadn't earned a victory before coming to Indian Wells, but now he found one in his opening match against Guido Pella. 7-6, 7-6 though, a tough test early, and it required a lot of endurance and physicality, and he knows he's going to have to up the ante on that against Alcaraz tonight.
1 minute.
Alcaraz is aware that Griekspoor had to put in such an effort. It doesn't matter because Carlos doesn't seem to worry about those sort of things. As we look back at the history between the two, well, it's just the one meeting. That came at Wimbledon last year, was a straight sets victory. Alcaraz moving through ultimately to the round of 16. That contest taking place in the second round. But that was on grass as they find themselves on a hard court, the first ever encounter. But we know that Carlos can thrive in this environment.
Yeah, they actually played a couple of times as well in 2021. The qualifying in Estoril and in Montpellier, one win apiece.
Yeah, the difference between that is the time that's transpired between, and Alcaraz at the time that Griekspoor got him in the qualifying round of Montpellier, Carlos was 95 in the world.
2 years later, he's been a world #1 and he's won a major.
And a couple of Masters 1000 titles to boot against a guy who's only won one match at a Masters 1000. So they're warm and ready. Alcaraz won the toss. He has elected to receive serve first. And so they will steady themselves and ready themselves. And the final match on this Monday set to get underway in a moment. From 96 down to 17. That's the amount of players left as we begin Carlos Alcaraz's second meeting against Tallon Griekspoor at tour level. There will be solely 16 left in the men's draw come the conclusion of this match, and they will all be on court tomorrow.
Ready?
Who will face Jack Draper in their Sweet 16 encounter. Griekspoor to serve first.
Love.
He's never beaten a top 10 player. But these are the challenges you want. Put your game on the court against the very best, the elite.
15-on.
That's a big forehand.
40-15.
Going to be how he will play. His last event, he did play a world #1. That was Djokovic.
Yes, he did.
Game,
And
Griekspoor.
he's actually had a terrific season. I make mention of that as Griekspoor gets on the board first, because his 13-4 record coming in, 3 of his 4 losses were against top 10 opponents, including Djokovic, and the other was against Jannik Sinner, who himself has been there. So a tough draw situation getting in there, but he's winning the matches that he needs to. Dennis Schenk working in Griekspoor's corner. Yeah, it's been a terrific effort and reaching your first ever final. He won 7 straight, not only winning the title in Pune, but being able to get to his best result at a major as Tallon reached the 3rd round at the Australian Open.
Carlos Alcaraz to serve.
Roland Garros champion in 2003. Juan Carlos Ferrero also reached the U.S. Open final that year. Would have had a shot at picking up that 2nd title if it were not for the last American to win a major, Mr. Andy Roddick. Last American male.
Love.
What a forehand. He's just warming up, Kevin. 91.
Pasha. I mean, come on. How long do we have to wait?
I mean, he'd be good if he learned to hit that forehand.
If once that comes to fruition, he's going to be a danger. Stop it. Punch, punch, and then just a light slap.
40 love.
Interested to know how that first forehand, how quickly it traveled. That had some extra heat sizzle on it, and here's Alcaraz looking to storm his way to a hole to love for 1-all.
Used that serve really effectively the other night, Alcaraz. And again, it's that aggressive off-pace first serve. It's not a means to just start the point. He's really looking to take his opponents out of court, and then he can just hammer the forehand into the opposite corner. It's interesting that we've talked, Kevin, last night. Medvedev's talked a lot about the slow conditions. However, Medvedev did say, well, one exception is this guy. He's not struggling.
Yeah. It's like he's playing on a whole different surface, and in some ways on a whole nother planet. Already Alcaraz is trying to make Griekspoor chase to all four corners of the Palm Springs area.
(30-15).
I just got to feel you got to do more. You have to invest a bit more in your shots. Trying to get beyond the reach of Alcaraz. It really pressures you into making those sort of decisions. Thanasi Kokkinakis could speak to that. It took him better part of an hour and 10 minutes to finally find a way to counteract the attack of Alcaraz. It was too little too late at that point.
30-40.
And Griekspoor in jeopardy here. Feeling the weight and the tension in the moment. Well done. Griekspoor just fending off Alcaraz. And that handcuff of a volley. Good execution, well done.
Lots to pick out in this point. How good was that from Alcaraz? No, I don't think you need to apologise for that volley.
No.
That is ridiculous on such a big point.
No, sir, own it. Huge. Facing the early break point.
Advantage Griekspoor. Deuce.
Well, that is the shot that can cause him a few problems, that backhand. And you know that two-hander is going to be put under serious pressure.
Advantage Alcaraz.
Well, he executed right from the word go the other night against Kokkinakis, just finding his range. So is Griekspoor.
Advantage Griekspoor.
Yeah, looking to escape from this long drawn-out third game. I mean, each of them held with ease in their opening 2 service games. That was 6 minutes in total between those two. This has doubled them up. Tallon looking to extricate himself from some early danger. Wow, backhand floater right there, but Griekspoor did well to stay honest, and he survives a couple of break threats.
Griekspoor leads.
Back out in front through 3 games.
More towels? 2 more maybe?
Stay in the know on everything happening at the 2023 BNP Paribas Open. Follow the tournament in real time on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and TikTok to track who will take home this year's coveted BNP Paribas Open title.
Brighter than the desert sun, the future of healthcare in the Coachella Valley. Because Eisenhower Health has been working for years to anticipate our community's needs, adding specialty services, building state-of-the-art facilities, empowering new technologies, and recruiting new specialists for growing services. The future of healthcare is brighter than ever with Eisenhower Health.
Playing at a career high ranking of 36 in the world, Tallon Griekspoor trying to make a name for himself here, maybe create some headlines. Danger of seeing a runaway train get the better of him in the opening 12 minutes. As Carlos Alcaraz unable to exploit 2 break opportunities. So on serve, opening set, as Alcaraz seeks his 100th career tour level win against a man who has never beaten a top 10 opponent. Scales appear to be tipped in Alcaraz's favor, but as of yet, Griekspoor has impressed in these opening 14 minutes. Question is for how long? How long can you maintain a presence beyond the attack of Alcaraz, which is not as sharp as it was against Kokkinakis 2 nights ago? But you can make the assumption he's just warming up.
Love.
Slow burner so far. In truth, he won't mind that.
Yeah. If he doesn't get caught up in that give and take and try to do too much. 7th unforced error. Carlos picking up. He might not be as sharp overall in that, and we're obviously splitting hairs here in our critique of Alcaraz and his performance from 2 nights ago against Kokkinakis to tonight against Griekspoor. But the one aspect that he is finding so much self-assurance is from the line. Serving once again at a ridiculous clip as he goes for 8 in a row to start. couple of basketball guys can appreciate the athleticism shown by the scrambling Alcaraz, and Griekspoor says, what do I got to do? This shot was ridiculous.
Actually thought he was going to get that one as well and do more. Phenomenal athlete. That's a brilliant return.
40-30.
He's got the firepower to cause trouble. A question with Griekspoor, can he do it for enough time in the match?
Yeah, consistently. Can he maintain from start to finish against the all-out assault of the Hurricane Alcaraz? And there's the hold, and alluding to the fact, even though he dropped a couple of points there, was oh so close to 2 holds to love, is that against Kokkinakis, he didn't face a break point. Now, he won 82% of his first serve points, which is a very admirable number, right?
Yeah.
You know what he had on his second serve?
Even better, wasn't it?
88.
Yeah.
Lost 7 points on serve in his opening match in 9 service games. That is a good day at the office.
Low.
So Griekspoor having to maintain the one thing he can control, produce from the line. That'll give him a good shot at finding his way through this match with Alcaraz, of course. Christophe Ligon, former number 30 in the world. A Belgian in the camp of Griekspoor. Christophe working hard to help.
$30-15.
Yeah, far too generous to this point, isn't he? I mean, 15 points for Alcaraz. More than half of them have been donations from Griekspoor's racket.
Still feels the right way to play, though.
40-15.
Because what it's also doing is it's not allowing Alcaraz a rhythm. So the match is a little bitty. And for me, that gives him the best chance of winning the match. I mean, the more balls that Alcaraz hits, the more likely he is of finding his highest level.
And Griekspoor 3 for 3 in putting himself to the lead at the behest of Alcaraz, who won the toss and elected to receive. So things working well for the Dutch thus far. Survived a couple threats and out front again. There's been a penchant for 80s and 90s songs, but we got a little something more contemporary. That's going to make Enrico feel a whole lot better. One of our statisticians extraordinaire said, what about something contemporary? Got a little Weekend playing in Stadium 1 for that. Hey, on the left, that's Dirk Nowitzki, and on the right, that's Steve Nash. If you're an NBA fan, you know all about these two. Steve Nash, a two-time NBA MVP, former coach of the Brooklyn Nets. He's on the right, and Dirk Nowitzki was the MVP of the 2011 NBA championships when his Dallas Mavericks won their title. A 14-time NBA All-Star in his own right. But you know what they are, Barry? Rabid tennis fans.
Are they?
This is not a one-off. This is not just a, oh, Larry said we could sit near the court.
Love 15.
That's a great pass. Who's your team?
Los Angeles Lakers, my friend. A little sidebar for the Miami Heat.
What, you've got two teams?
Well,
how can you have two teams?
I'm just saying that if they're playing each other, the Lakers are always first.
Oh.
But I grew up in LA, make my home in Miami. But it's Lakers through and through. Blue and gold, baby. The Magic era, forever. R.I.P. Kobe.
It's like saying you support Liverpool
No,
and Man United.
don't get so dramatic. It's not the same. Then that's not from the same city. They're from two different coasts. And they play in two different conferences, and they never tie.
59.
Still don't get it. Mind you, I still don't get it how they can say the champions of the world.
Well, who can beat them? Show me anybody who beats them.
They only play in one country.
Well, they play the Olympics, don't they? And all the All-Stars from that league play in that. Come on. Go ahead and at me if you want. It's almost like saying, you know, you guys in football. If we put, oh, wait a minute. That's a sore subject with you guys, isn't it? English football. Never mind. Sorry. Alcaraz serving 15-all.
Fifteen, 30.
Look at the court position for Alcaraz on this toss.
He's been watching Medvedev.
Yeah.
Yeah, recognised the importance of that point. Just held it back a bit. Alcaraz. He's been guns blazing. Average rally length, 5 shots. This has been total opposite to the Murray-Draper match.
Yeah, but this is a trend that's not surprising. And the baseline rallies being dominated almost 3 times as much success for Alcaraz, and he's not even firing on all cylinders yet.
This must have caught the outside edge of the line.
40, 30.
Let's see if you were right. I'm guessing you were. Good eyes, partner.
10 millimeters in.
Use.
You alluded to it earlier, partner, and I got to give you credit, begrudgingly, mind you, but credit nonetheless. The longer it goes on, and Griekspoor gets embroiled in these sort of rallies, he really finds himself just a kind of a passive observer, doesn't he? I mean, it just goes and plays into every strength that Alcaraz has.
And it has a knock-on effect as well, because then he's feeling better about the next point, and so on. He's won 4 of the 5 longer points, Alcaraz.
And Griekspoor tries to end the rally quickly, goes too big, too strong. He's in double digits in unforced errors in this opening set.
3 games on.
But he's still even. 3 apiece.
Yeah, and if you said to him before the match, Griekspoor, after 28 minutes, 6 games, it's going to be 3-all, he said, where can I sign? I'll take that all day long. He talked before this match saying he loves to play on a big court. He'd much rather play on a stadium court than court 7. No kidding.
Love. Very low.
Remarkably, he's won 7 of 8 on his second serve. Griekspoor.
That's his first deal that he's more vulnerable. Say both break points he faced against Pella in the initial match, and has already saved 2 tonight.
Invested in a physical trainer making his own decisions, and it's helped Griekspoor start the year the way he has.
Yeah, you said about the fact that if he said half hour in and be 3-all with Alcaraz, he'd sign up for it. He'd also probably obviously had designs on a successful 2023, but 13-4 with his first career title in a top 40 ranking already in March. I dare say he would have signed up twice. Yeah, it's been pretty remarkable. And again, the quality and caliber of the opponents who have beaten him this year have been pretty remarkable in their own right. Mentioned Djokovic. Got him in the round of 16 in Dubai. He's also lost to Rublev, Stefanos Tsitsipas, and Jannik Sinner. That's it. Gotten the better of everybody else, and he's getting the better of Alcaraz from the line. 4 times successful thus far. been a quality ticket. So everyone excited to see the top seed Carlos Alcaraz, last year's semifinalist, on Monday night. Saturday night was rocking as well against Kokkinakis, becoming one of the main draws, and rightfully so.
Yeah, his forehand was rocking a couple of nights ago. 81 miles an hour he averaged tonight. Hasn't quite found it yet. 6 miles per hour slower. A few more errors. So it's just a question of when.
15 love.
He's ready to pull off the plastic wrapping, stick it in the microwave, heat it up quickly. This is also a time when Alcaraz is so adept at being able to just turn the tide. A strong hold here and then finding another way to a break point. And Griekspoor looking around going, what happened? He's got to be very careful.
Honest comments from Griekspoor saying that when he was younger, he knew he had the talent, but he absolutely hated hard work. Didn't necessarily enjoy tennis.
Oh, come on. Little circus move from Alcaraz, how he was able to adjust. It's almost as if his arm got longer, somehow extended, like Plastic Man.
But he loves to volley, and he has good instincts when he comes forward. Griekspoor said when he was younger, he'd 5 minutes into a private lesson, he said to the coach, "What's the time? Am I done yet?" I guess it's just that immaturity that maybe you have. You've got to find out why you want to play the sport.
What matters to you?
Yep.
What your purpose is.
And Alcaraz at 14 would have been totally different to Griekspoor at 14.
He would have been, can I work some more? Why are you telling me I got to stop? Why do I even have to sleep?
40-30.
Excuse to go over and get close to Ferrero and company. Side as he tries to regroup from the double fault. From 40 love here, just trying to ease through to 4-all. That's unbelievable. And what another terrific example of how adept Alcaraz is athletically and as a player at the net. Remarkable hands, and he has the hold for 4-all.
Absolutely, Kev. That is a remarkable volley. 19 years of age, and he's volleying like that.
Well, you know, he's trying to get to 100 wins, and it would be second only to John McEnroe. And that was page out of McEnroe's book at the net, wasn't it?
And that's not exaggerating.
In case you weren't with us early, is Alcaraz seeking his 100th career tour level match win. Second in the least number of matches needed to get there. If he's victorious tonight, just one behind John McEnroe, needed 131. Alcaraz, this is his 132nd. Boy, you could see just how amazing Alcaraz has already matured in the area of his net play. McEnroe-esque.
Talking about John McEnroe?
15 love.
Oh, his little brother. Recently named as president of the International Tennis Hall of Fame in Newport, Rhode Island, Mr. P. Mac himself. Patrick, former Davis Cup captain for the U.S. when they won it back in 2007.
Did you see that? Bob Bryan's the new U.S. Davis Cup captain.
Not surprising, is it? I guess which Bryan brother would take the helm? I think Bob seems well suited.
That's brilliant tennis. Well, maybe they might share the duties and no one will know.
30 love.
Can you tell the difference?
Well, there's two telltale signs. One's extremely obvious. And actually, I don't know if the second is such anymore. It used to be the necklace, right?
Bob beats.
Yeah, Bob beats. And left-handed, right-handed. Yeah, not going to get to that. Although the skates that he's been working with tonight, Alcaraz, you wouldn't have been surprised if he'd gotten there. I think the McEnroe brothers are going to be playing an exhibition in Africa, they announced recently, too. Both John and Patrick. Tanzania, perhaps? I have to get our crack staff of research to find out. I know John's band has been playing here in Indian Wells. The Johnny Smythe Band. And Griekspoor continues to impress. Solid effort thus far in performing in the one area he must. It's crucial for success tonight. And that's holding serve. Thus far, 5 for 5.
Done really well to just quietly negotiate his way through his service games. Griekspoor, exactly say he's played his best tennis either.
Start of the new week, Monday, in the Coachella Valley, and a good turnout. They love their tennis here. And the players love coming here. The Masters 1000 event of the year as voted by the players every year since 2014. By the way, it was Tanzania in December. John and Patrick, part of a tourism and tennis initiative combined together.
Strongly recommend it.
Oh, yeah.
Great place.
Home with the Big Five. Did you see the Big Five? You're traveling there?
Yeah.
Can you still name them?
That's gorgeous.
Nifty.
Yeah, Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, Murray. Oh, you're talking about the animals?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, as Alcaraz goes for 5-all, we'll give you a shot. We'll even spot you the elephant, the lion, the leopard.
Buffalo.
Okay, well done.
99 miles per hour, the first forehand. 25, the second.
30 love.
The hippo?
No.
Rhino.
Yes. Well done.
Saw the wild dog as well. It's as rare as the leopard.
I thought that was your nickname back in your touring day. Well done by Griekspoor to hang in there. He played a terrific point and yet could not seem to get through Alcaraz. Even Harry Ellison says that is good stuff. And he wouldn't be wrong.
He's growing into this one, Griekspoor. And he will be finding some more confidence, self-belief. Yeah, she went there for my honeymoon, Tanzania. I arrived. Bags got lost.
Talk about an adventure.
Yeah. But you would have thought, having traveled and been on about 1,000 flights, that I would have learned my lesson.
And the 5th game for Alcaraz, and he keeps pace. So on serve, only one viable threat throughout this entire opening set. In the 43 minutes, it was Alcaraz having a pair of break points in the 3rd game. Both have knuckled down and really performed well. Something that Griekspoor will need to continue right here. Go 6 for 6. Well, I'm jealous. Haven't been. Not jealous of the misses. I'm jealous of visiting Tanzania. Although,
well, if we keep plugging it, we might get a freebie out of it.
All right. I'm not opposed. Yeah, it's inexplicable sometimes. You just wonder, how does he do it?
Just the skill and the intelligence. As soon as he hit the slice, he probably thought that the shot that was likely to happen. That's brilliant. I mean, he has everything. He has the hand skills, he has the variation. What type of player will he be in 5 years' time, which is also exciting.
And that'll just be on the cusp of actually reaching physical maturity. It's right around that golden window. Yeah, this is a suspect moment. That little flick cross court that dipped away from Griekspoor on the previous point, just enough to cause some fissure in his confidence. And for Tallon right now, these are dangerous moments.
Yeah, and how does he play this, Alcaraz? If he gets his teeth into this point, does he just say, right, I am going to make a lot of balls, or does he just open his shoulders with a huge forehand? That's great. Serve and volley. He's been very proactive tonight, Griekspoor.
Oh, that's mighty. In both resolve and in execution. sturdiness from Griekspoor on display once again. Tallon has represented himself very well, and for the 6th straight time he takes one step forward as Alcaraz will attempt to catch him once more and force a tiebreak.
This is all in the same point. Forehand. And the ability to then change it up. It's just a natural slice, which isn't always the case with two-handers, but when you think of how good the slice is of Nadal and Murray, and then the final shot. Look at the split step there from Alcaraz. The balance, the eyes just never leave the ball. Ability to be able to adjust there, because that ball would have been close to him, but just a highly skilled shot. Yeah, because when you look at Alcaraz at 19, and of course Nadal was off the charts at 19, but as an all-round player he is more complete than Nadal was at 19. But see how Nadal's developed his game, evolved it. I remember watching Nadal for the first time at Wimbledon. His first serve couldn't even get over 100 miles an hour.
It was work in progress throughout his career. I mean, remember when he made the concerted effort to try to find a way to win the U.S. Open and had to really find a way to be more effective, and it got him the win that he needed. Alcaraz spends a considerable amount of time talking about the effect that Nadal's had on him. Often mentions Federer as well. But he's starting to come into his own already at this tender age, not even out of his teens yet, in developing an Alcaraz sort of persona and style.
What will be his best surface? He's going to win majors on all 3 surfaces, but what will be the one where he has the most success?
Love.
Wow, that got some jump. That took a leap off the court as Alcaraz is settled in now. A nice rhythm, winning 9 of his last 10 points from the service line, and it forces an opening set tiebreak. This will be the 3rd tiebreak set in as many played for Griekspoor. Had to battle through 2 of them against Pella in the previous round. This is Alcaraz's first. And the good news for Griekspoor is that he's won as many games as Kokkinakis did in his 2 sets, getting to this tiebreak. But they have a bad history in the 1 tiebreak that they played against each other. At least if you're the Dutch. Big strike from Carlos. They at Wimbledon, the 2nd set last year, they played a tiebreak. Alcaraz didn't concede a single point. Ferrero's mantra on the side of his head there, you got this. And Alcaraz looking to pull away.
2-0. Alcaraz. Alcaraz.
You'll have to listen just ever so slightly to Ferrero, see if he says lo tienes. You got this.
Did you get fed that in your ear, or did you know that?
Mi español es muy poquito, but I know a couple things. My strength being una cerveza fría, por favor. In fact, if I could get the whole crew one.
That would have surprised Griekspoor.
3-2, Alcaraz.
I've always felt that that's kind of the next development in the game, attacking the second serve. Yeah, it's can be the shortest ball of the point. Modern equipment there with the strings, if you can hit the return as early as that, force the error. I'm having him above anyone else with that shot. And there's a few good ones out there, but his drop shot is out of this world.
Yeah, and for so many, it's just a kind of a bailout shot, but this is an aggressive shot that he uses time and time again to great success.
And here's one for you. Did he hit the serve with a view of hitting that shot?
I mean, was it thought out in advance, or would that just come on the fly? You think it's the former?
Probably a bit of both. That makes sense. It's him thinking if he hits that return, maybe it's time for that shot. But obviously, if Griekspoor hits a hard return, then he would hold back and maybe hit it another time.
5-2, Alcaraz.
A little mini break, just offering some separation as Carlito tries to maneuver his way towards taking this tie break, getting himself that much closer to returning to the round of 16 in Indian Wells. Semi-finalist last year. Good closeout and finish strong. Griekspoor, who hasn't come forward in droves, but when he has, he's been very effective.
Yeah, 5 of 7 in the net.
Second mini break. Third point he has lost on his serve. Griekspoor really up against it now. Trio of set points at the 47-minute mark. Finally secure a one-set lead. Saw that beautifully.
6-4, Alcaraz.
It'll be interesting here, given that return. Does he serve to the forehand again here? Alcaraz will say, my serve is better than your forehand return. Sampras would have done.
Watch for a big kick on this one. I think he might go big and bold. Carlos Alcaraz tested but passes. Tallon Griekspoor did not play bad tennis, but the top seed just too good. A minute under an hour, 7-6.
Yeah, mentally just so comfortable with himself there, Alcaraz. Didn't play his best, but no stress, no worries. Just managed it very well. There was an interesting first set, 29 baseline points to 12. It certainly didn't feel like that. You look at the numbers from Griekspoor, he played his part. Alcaraz, some big forehands in there, 8 winners, but also some of those were drop shots. Good numbers on serve for both. Just a couple of break points that Alcaraz had early on in the set, wasn't able to take those. Griekspoor, played his part, but you would expect Alcaraz to lift his level even at the beginning of the second.
Welcome back, tennis fan. We hope you've been enjoying these opening 6 days of action in the first Masters 1000 event of 2023. Defending champion Taylor Fritz still in good stead as he advanced earlier today. Top seed Carlos Alcaraz, one set away from joining the rest of the Sweet 16, all of whom will be in play tomorrow. We hope to join us 11 a.m. local time. Kickoff round of 16 Tuesday. And it'll all begin our coverage right here on this very court at 11 with Daniil Medvedev taking on Alexander Zverev. Now, Barry,
Love 15.
that hangover effect, you know, you get into the mix. You're actually in the thick of it. Things are working so well for you in the case of Tallon Griekspoor, but you come up short.
A couple of Dutch players there. Wesley Koolhof, Van Zandskel, John Peers. That was 2 Dutchmen and John Peers.
Yeah, I was going to say, somebody Peers changed nationality. Koolhof didn't have to take the court today. And Skopsky were set to play Tiafoe and Wawrinka, who are both into the round of 16 playing tomorrow, and they pulled out of the doubles competition as the coming out to support Griekspoor. Are you anticipating? Yeah, the anticipation. This is where Alcaraz really is able to turn the screw so often. Boy, he wants to set a tone for this second set. And that speed is starting to elevate.
Yeah. Yeah, we're led to believe that Wesley Koolhof was practicing on this very court before the start of the night session. Our intrepid reporter.
Which one? We got two dazzlers down there.
Well, I think it's the same one that maybe gave us a bit of bum information at the start of the match.
Oh.
So
that guy, we're not going to mention his name. Alcaraz, mission accomplished. It probably doesn't sit well with Carlito that it had to get down to that tie break. We'll see if he ratchets up the intensity here and if Griekspoor can keep pace.
Yeah, that kick serve from Alcaraz. That's the first serve which he used really effectively, getting out of the reach of Griekspoor. Imagine what he's going to do on the clay with that serve. As it kicks, obviously playing in the desert with the ball lighter. 2.03 meters it climbs.
Break down the mechanics of that just a bit, though. In order to change that up to get the ball to jump that high off the surface.
I mean, obviously, that's why he stands a little further over to the left. He's shown Griekspoor a couple of times the one down the middle, so Griekspoor can't always cheat. You want to ideally, if you're a right-hander, you throw it slightly over your left shoulder. And then you got to have the flexibility in the arm.
59.
Loose wrist.
Oh, the brawn of Carlito.
Well, you only have to look at Griekspoor's reaction.
15-13.
I mean, how devastating is this? I mean, you've got to be kidding me. Sliding, open stance. And after he hit it, he was on the move after it. Freak. And if he wasn't a tennis player, what else would he have been good at?
With his athletic skills?
Probably everything.
Probably. It'd be an easier question to answer. What wouldn't he be good at? Now, I'd say curling would be not a strength of his. Although the way he slid there, who am I to say? On the previous point, the way he slid through that backhand, I was able to stop and redirect.
There's not a lot of ice in Spain, is there?
No. Things a bit slippery for Griekspoor right here, though. This is a tread lightly moment. Facing his first break point since game 3 when he saved 2. Alcaraz ready to pounce. Yeah, there were red lights circling. There was danger everywhere. Once that ball got into the body of Griekspoor, he had to fend it off, and it was done. And so is the break. Alcaraz is setting a break to the good, and now can comfortably start to really attack.
Yeah, I probably would have given him 6 out of 10 in the first. That last game, that was close to 10. The last point as well, it was a good first serve from Griekspoor and the ability from Alcaraz to put that return up high and deep.
And there goes a racket that Griekspoor says is no longer good to him. You have betrayed me one too many times. Rest in pieces. Old trusty racket.
Well, I actually think when he breaks a racket like that, Alcaraz should pay the fine, because that's why he's broken it.
Yeah, yeah. He was the
Alcaraz has
agitator,
broken his
wasn't he?
spirit.
Yeah. Got to pick up a couple pieces of debris there that were left behind.
Net for service.
But you're right, the instigator should maybe at least go Dutch, so to speak. Split the bill. Yeah, this is where the terrain seemed even for a time, but now for Griekspoor, it's like pushing a big boulder up a steep incline. Things have got precipitously harder.
$30-15.
Wind has really picked up.
30 all.
Yeah, it seemed to wreak havoc with that, the path of that ball, didn't it? It was like sitting on the back of a hummingbird, just kind of floating all around. Oh, Tallon read it well. He got a good jump and was in good position.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
40-30.
Well, it was right around the same spot. It was pretty close to the same location that he snapped the neck of his previous weapon.
Unless he feels outdone by from Bublik, who folded 3 the other week.
Use.
Well, he's human. The first break point Alcaraz has faced in the tournament. And he's kind of wound a little bit here.
So what's he do here with the first serve? Does he go for the big serve, or does he go for the 3/4 pace out wide with the kicker?
Oh, a second serve that had to be put back in the court.
Thing is, he didn't really go after it.
No. You think he got crossed up? Was he expecting something else?
Sometimes that's what can happen if you're playing the best. This has been a ragged game.
Advantage Griekspoor.
But you wouldn't know it. From his body language.
Yeah, one of the myriad of positive traits for Alcaraz is how he moves from point to point, particularly the disappointing ones. They don't last long. You know who's got the shortest memory? Goldfish. 10 seconds. Forget what just happened. That's what you got to do. Move on. Tennis amnesia. He does it exceptionally well.
Advantage Alcaraz.
Back. A tenuous few moments and a first threat, but threat extinguished. Be a goldfish. Forget about the disappointments. Alcaraz thriving in the California desert.
Well, not for the first time in this match. He probably thought he had Alcaraz certainly in a position where he was on the defence. Not so. Snapping the winner. The angle he created from that far back. Racket head speed. Still feels he's got another couple of gears to go to. I mean, he hasn't played as well tonight as he did against Kokkinakis. But as we talked about in the last game, the demeanour, body language hasn't changed. I always still feel that he's trying things out as well.
There's still the vestiges of the Swiss Master. Plenty of RF hats, but everybody getting the swing of things. Sure reminds me of Kids' Day at Roland Garros. The day before the action starts, Bob Sinclair gets out there. They fill Philippe Chatrier. They get the EDM pumping. This song's big. Hello. Carlos Alcaraz says, hello, well, Indian Wells, I'm back. And this time, I have designs on walking away with the hardware, or in this case, the crystal.
He's a big tennis fan, isn't he, Bob Sinclair?
Oh, massive, yeah. In fact, if you watch the video for that song, Hello, it's tennis themed.
Love.
Well, we see defensive high lobs.
59.
He's just invented a new shot there. The topspin equivalent.
30-15.
Eight challenger victories in 2021 for Griekspoor. That's some sort of record.
40-15. Game Griekspoor.
He's got to keep hanging in there, which he will do.
Alcaraz leads 3-1. Net for service. Love 15.
Alcaraz 3 games away from advancing to the round of 16 to face Jack Draper, the 21-year-old Brit, knocking off former world #1 and 14-time Masters 1000 champion Andy Murray. Doing so in straight sets. Draper has yet to drop a set in this tournament. This quarter of the draw also has Felix Auger-Aliassime and Tommy Paul.
59.
They will square off tomorrow, as will everybody in the round of 16. Paul and Auger-Aliassime actually going to be the final match, the last match of the day on Stadium 2. If Alcaraz continues in this vein, he will face Draper 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Busy day tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, taking a page out of a tradition that I absolutely loved was that Monday, the All England Club. That everybody in the round of 16, men's and women's, all playing on that same day. Greatest day in tennis.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I mean, I know change is inevitable and everybody moves on, but did that really need to change? Don't you have some polo there at the AEC? Bring it back. Well, tomorrow will be the West Coast version.
Just getting frustrated as he has had opportunities.
Yeah, for Griekspoor, you can understand his frustration. How many chances is he going to get? He had a couple, but he couldn't capitalize. Alcaraz starting to pull away. It was a jog early. Now he's in a full sprint.
Yeah, going back to what you were saying about Wimbledon, I think when I look at the majors, personally think it's nice when they are slightly different.
Yeah, different variations to them and how they're run. And obviously each one takes on kind of the persona of its host city.
You
but
know, they're all unique in their different ways. They all have their strengths.
Absolutely.
Different strengths.
And that middle Sunday was a boon. It was such an enjoyable way to turn. And then that made that Monday just so intense. Yeah, that's something that's going to be missed for a long time.
In terms of intensity, 1 to 10, how are they?
Well, I'd say they're all in. Execution or intensity?
Both.
Well, intensity 8.
Alcaraz-like, or is a little bit sort of...
I'd say the intensity is Alcaraz-like against Kokkinakis. The execution is Alcaraz-esque in the opening set of this match. Yeah, left wanting, and yet Alcaraz still prevailed, and he's about to prevail, just 2 games away. Reaching the round of 16 for the 2nd straight year here, defending semi-finalist points. Thus the need to get through to the final and take home the Baccarat Trophy. But if he does so, Carlos will reassume the position as the #1 player in the world.
That was one of his hardest forehands that he's hit.
$30-15. $40-15.
Well, that'll boost morale just a touch. That'll give a little bit more for Griekspoor to at least be able to say, I kept putting in the effort. But just it'll be those missed opportunities. So few and far between when you face Alcaraz, even on a somewhat off night. You got to take advantage. Tallon running out of hope unless he can make something happen right here in Game 7.
Love 15.
That's not a bad serve, actually. Quite smart. Into the body, the ball moving around as much as it is with the wind. Tough conditions.
30-15.
Constantly seeking that affirmation. It's one of the things you still realize that he's just 19. Even when you start to see him and he looks like he's flexing and he's a big burly man out on the court, you see Alcaraz turn towards Ferrero and company. He just wants that little bit of positivity coming back and that affirmation. So eager to please. He'll be pleased with that. Got a hold of that forehand.
Yeah, looking to his box. I'm sure Ferrero is nodding his head.
Well, it's a good sign, isn't it? If you're Ferrero, you appreciate it. And as you see, Alcaraz continues to blast. He hasn't been overwhelming off the forehand. I mean, that's not towering numbers, but boy, have they been effective at the right time. But it shows for Ferrero, you know, that Carlos is engaged. He doesn't wander. He has no mental walkabouts. Point to point, very focused. And a hold for 5-2. And Alcaraz making his way. Looking to take that big step.
Alcaraz leads 5-2.
Get his 100th career win. More importantly, play tomorrow in the round of 16.
They do talk a lot about the future, and it always feels when Alcaraz is playing that he is thinking about now, he is thinking about tomorrow, and he's also thinking about the evolution in his game. But never loses sight that he's still, you're there to win matches. So the game is forever improving. How are we on the moves here?
This is the best movement of all of them thus far, the lack thereof.
Sneaky glass of red he was having.
I think Dirk at this point, nothing sneaky anymore. Stadium 1, one of the biggest stadiums in all of tennis across the tour, 16,000 when filled to capacity. Not quite those numbers tonight, but a pretty jovial group. Everybody having a good time. In fact, dare say that everybody in Stadium 1's having a good time with one exception. Man that's about to put the ball in play from the Netherlands, Tallon Griekspoor. He's just been up against it, and the inevitable conclusion just might be this service game away. It's going to be hard. It's going to sting a bit if it does indeed end either here or in the next couple of minutes. But there's a lot of takeaways for Griekspoor. He represented himself very well tonight. You agree?
59.
Yes, but I think he will feel that he can play better.
Oh,
does that make sense?
Yeah, without question. I mean,
he's risen to the mental challenge.
But isn't that what Christoph Ligon is for in so many ways? Because he's got to be able to shine the light in the darkness that's going to be trailing Griekspoor after this. It's Ligon in that cap right in the front, coach of Tallon. You know, there's got to be takeaways. You were talking about the evolution of Alcaraz, how he's always trying to improve, how he's trying to work forward. You know, in the here and now, but also thinking, where am I going? How am I going to get better? I mean, Griekspoor, there's got to be some takeaways.
Definitely. Yeah, it's not easy to play your best tonight. How much belief did he have that after that first set of him coming back to win in 3? I can't believe he nearly got there.
Yeah. Carlos believed he should have. He was convinced he was going to get there and make that play, and that would have been Just one more dagger, just bloodletting if this goes through. I was cheering for Tallon just to represent here. Force Alcaraz to serve it out just for his morale. Carlos is not going to let him off the hook.
Yeah, the pace he generates from positions where you feel he's very much on the defense on both wings.
Just had the sense it was coming. And Alcaraz looking to slam the door. Oh, well done, Tallon.
Amazingly, the first ace of the match.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, he was holding it in his pocket. Yeah.
Advantage Griekspoor.
And well done. 3 terrific first serves, including his first ace of the match. And Tallon Griekspoor prolongs his stay in Indian Wells.
Alcaraz leads 5 games to 3.
Gonna make the most of his first triumphs at a Masters 1000 event. Got the bye as the 31 seed before he triumphed over Argentine Guido Pella in the previous round. 2 tiebreak sets. Alcaraz missing out on 1 match point will now try to handle his duties and finish this off from the line himself.
Love 15.
Looking at his numbers, actually, Alcaraz, this is his 67th match ATP Tour on hard. And only in 5 previous occasions has he not hit an ace. 2 of those 5 have been here in Indian Wells, so potentially that might happen for a 3rd time. It just shows how hard it is to find winning shots here in these conditions. Oh, many players, the big moments, their go-to play is to just batten down the hatches. This guy, he just comes forward.
Full force. I mean, he had that mapped out well in advance, didn't he? I mean, Griekspoor had already committed to going into the open court. Carlos was just going to drop it right there behind him. Griekspoor, though, with a half chance to stay alive. And Alcaraz playing as if he's perturbed. He wants this done. give himself a chance to get a little rest tonight before he has to play again tomorrow night. And exercising command and control. And love 30 turns into a second match point.
40-30.
Well, it wasn't his most dazzling effort, and credit Griekspoor for some of that. But a W is a W. And Carlos Alcaraz has hit the century mark. His 100th career victory is oh so sweet, and puts him into the last 16 in Indian Wells. Yeah, sometimes everything is working, sometimes not. But it's those victories, when it's the latter, that sometimes are the most gratifying. A straight sets win to advance to the round of 16, 7-6, 6-3 for the top seed.
Well, that was a battle. Griekspoor has some good stuff there from the Dutchman, but you will feel that he could play better, but sometimes you're not at your best because of the quality of the opponent and the pressure you feel. As we know with Alcaraz, he can hurt you in so many different ways.
But you just have to be redlining on that mental aspect, don't you? Because already now, at 19 years of age, Alcaraz is starting to establish a mental foothold over the opposition. You know you have to bring your very best.
And even when he did bring his best a few times, he came up with some remarkable passing shots.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason he's inside the top 40 at a career-high ranking of 36. Griekspoor did his part to make this a competitive match, at least for a full set. But Alcaraz, his talent shining bright when it mattered most, as he puts his signature on his 100th tour-level career victory. And a little cheeky in the process. Vamos, says the top seed. Let's go.
Yeah, an hour and 40. She both been good at the net. It's certainly been the theme this week that it's very tough to hit more winners than unforced errors. But he did redline it, Griekspoor. And Alcaraz certainly played his part. Crucially, in a match like tonight, if you can get through 2 sets without dropping your serve, just a couple of break points that he saved, that was the opportunity for Griekspoor in the second set. For Alcaraz overall, I think he'd be very pleased. His average forehand speed was down tonight, but the conditions were tougher.
Alcaraz moves through. It creates a very enticing matchup of a player already on the ascent, looking to get back to #1 in the rankings, and a young man from Great Britain, 21-year-old Jack Draper, who is on the rise himself. They've only met once previously. It was right after Alcaraz won the US Open and ascended to #1 then. It was Alcaraz getting the best of Jack in Basel in 3 sets, coming back from a set down. And that sets the stage for what is going to be a glorious day tomorrow. The Sweet 16 will all be taking the court, including Tiafoe and Auger-Aliassime in this quarter of the draw that belongs to Alcaraz. Well, Carlos achieving a milestone and doing great work in quick time. Only one man has gotten to 100 wins on tour as a world #1 ranked player, or former one. Just one behind the great John McEnroe.
Yeah, remarkable rise up the rankings, and he's in great company there. Alcaraz, all those players, won majors, young. How many will he go on to win? Alcaraz, he'll be pleased, I'm sure.
Achieving great things at a young age and getting out in front of Nadal in that regard as well. Well, Alcaraz does get the century mark and does find his way through to the Sweet 16 for a second straight here in Indian Wells. And of course, remember last year, his first Masters 1000 title coming on the hard courts of Miami, parlayed that into success in Madrid. His #3 in store here. Well, his performance today was a bit uneven, but it was enough to get the job done. And he'll be back tomorrow night for the first match in the night session against Draper to see if he can push back to the quarterfinals once more. Well, Seb Lausier is ready to pose some questions to the young man.
Carlos, many congratulations on a win tonight, and congratulations too, I don't know whether you know, but it's your 100th ATP win already. Only John McEnroe has done it in fewer games, so that is one hell of an achievement. How proud are you of that?
Well, I didn't know that. Honestly, I searched that stat today, but so I didn't know that. I thought it was in the next round. So I'm really proud to get my 100 win in the ATP, and I hope it's the first 100 of many.
I'm sure it will be. All these players are raising their game to play you. You're the top seed. Tallon Griekspoor did it tonight. Jack Draper is going to do it tomorrow. Are you ready? And what perhaps do you want to do even better tomorrow against Jack Draper?
Well, yeah, I'm ready. I love playing that kind of matches. Jack's playing really well. I played against him just once in Basel, not long time ago, and it was really tough. So I know that I have to put my best level. I have to show my 100%, you know, to pass over a great opponent like that. So I think it's going to be a really beautiful match to watch for the crowd, and obviously I'm gonna enjoy the match.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
So Alcaraz unaware of the history that he's making at times, but you wouldn't imagine that that's what his sights are on. It's all about getting the wins, and he has gotten plenty. And you imagine there will be a lot more hundreds, as he said, to come, maybe even thousands perhaps. Tommy Paul got in the win column, taking down the 9 seed from Poland, who'll be her catch. Paul is having a fantastic 2023. He'll go up against the man that beat Cerundolo today. Auger-Aliassime needed all the help he could. He needed 6 match points to get through in over 2 hours, but he got the job done. How about Wawrinka coming back against Rune, making magic? Had a match point early, couldn't capitalize, took it in 3. Taylor Fritz continues to dominate in Indian Wells. The defending champion has now won 8 straight. Fucsovics into the win column, another straight sets win for him. He has been very impressive thus far in his pursuit, dropping just 1 set. Jannik Sinner also looking pretty dazzling to this point. And there it is. I'm going to let you talk about that one, Barry. How about Draper Murray today?
Yeah, the first set was physical. It was 80 minutes. And actually, both men were struggling a little bit in the second set. So be interesting to see how Draper's leg is tomorrow, because he's going to have to be 100% physically if he is to take on Alcaraz and cause an upset, maybe.
Perhaps, and you know what? The good news is we're going to find out very soon, because as the Sweet 16 is set, tomorrow it is going to be 1 one thrilling Tuesday as everybody's in action, including Medvedev versus Zverev.
Oh, that's an extraordinary finish.
3 titles on the trot, is seeking a 4th. Oh, it's good.
And it is victory for Zverev. Look what it means.
Oh, it'll be a good old-fashioned grudge match to begin our coverage tomorrow. They get to business, these two. Not a whole lot of animosity per se, but boy, they both competitive when they step on the court. It will be Daniil Medvedev trying to extend his win streak to 17 matches as he goes up against Zverev. Then we will indeed see the defending champion Taylor Fritz in action.
Yeah, and for Medvedev, it'll be his first match he's played this week in the afternoon session, so he might take him a while to adjust, but it will be quicker. And then, yeah, Fritz was excellent today in the match we were talking about. Alcaraz, Draper to round off the action on Stadium 1.
And Fritz and Fucsovics meeting for a first time. Alcaraz, Draper meeting for a second. Medvedev and Zverev have history, to say the least. Over on Stadium number 2, the action will get underway a little later in the day. Third match on overall. It'll be Francis Tiafoe, the last American in the bottom half of the draw, taking on one of 2 Chilean qualifiers. Alejandro Tabilo will be his opponent, and then the aforementioned Tommy Paul, Felix Auger-Aliassime match. That'll be their first ever meeting.
Yeah, really looking forward to that one. Tommy Paul just gets better and better. 17th seed.
Over on Stadium 3, another pair of matches that'll feature some quality names, beginning with the matchup between Andrei Rublev and 2021 champion Cam Norrie. They've been sort of flying under the radar a bit with all the other excitement, but they're both contenders here. And then Jannik Sinner and Wawrinka. That should be a duel.
They are going to be crushing the ball, Sinner and Wawrinka. I think he's a great story, Wawrinka, all the injury problems, but he talked positively, said his best tennis was just round the corner. What a win he had today. He's got to do it all again tomorrow if he is to beat the Italian.
Meanwhile, there will be one match, just a lone match over on Stadium 4, but it will be at the start of the day, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It'll be the other Chilean qualifier. They are combined 10-0 in total matches, Guerin and Tabilo. The Chilean will take on the Spaniard 23 seed Alejandro Davidovich Fokina. And that rounds out all 8 matches on the slate for our 7th day of coverage on what will be tremendous Tuesday in the California desert. So quality stuff has already been demonstrated through 6 days. Stay with us, tennis fan, as more from the first Masters 1000 event of 2023 is upon us, and we're getting down to the business end. And so far, business is good. We'll see you tomorrow, again, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Until then, so long.